Ladies and gentlemen, life is not about waiting for permission to shine. It is about stepping boldly into the power you already possess. Inside each of us lies a unique spark, a magnetic energy, a presence that turns heads and inspires hearts. Some call it confidence, some call it charisma, but I like to think of it as your sexy potential, not just in how you look, but in how you carry yourself, how you communicate, and how you move through the world with certainty and grace. Too many people live small, shrinking back from opportunities, hiding their brilliance and silencing their own voice. But today we are going to unlock that hidden force. Imagine walking into a room and instantly radiating authenticity, strength, and elegance. Imagine not just being seen, but being remembered. That is the art of unleashing your sexy potential. It is not about comparison, it is about elevation. Not about pretending, it is about becoming. And when you dare to embrace this version of yourself, the doors of influence, love, leadership, and success begin to swing wide open. So let us awaken that power. Let us step into a higher standard of living, and let us ignite a fire within that no challenge, no fear, and no doubt can extinguish confidence. Now that is a word we've all heard 1,000 times, yet most people only scratch the surface of what it truly means. When I talk about confidence, I'm not talking about arrogance, ego, or walking into a room with a loud voice and bigger gestures than everyone else. That's not confidence, that's performance. And performance eventually cracks. Real confidence is quieter, deeper, unshakable. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't beg for attention, it naturally commands it. Think about it. When someone truly confident walks into a room, they don't even have to say a word, yet people notice. Why? Because confidence is energy. It radiates. It's like a signal you transmit without opening your mouth. And the remarkable thing is people are drawn to it. Like a magnet, confidence pulls others toward you. That's why I call it the foundation of attraction. Because without it, the house you're trying to build in your life, whether it's success, influence, relationships, or leadership, will crumble. Confidence is the cement that holds it all together. But here's the truth. Confidence is not something you're born with in full supply. It is not handed to you in a neat little box when you arrive on this planet. No, confidence is built. It is forged in the fires of discipline, in the small promises you keep to yourself, in the moments when you choose courage over fear. Every time you rise to meet a challenge, you add a brick to the wall of your confidence. And over time, that wall becomes so strong that no storm can knock it down. Let me share with you something that most people never realize. Lack of confidence does not come from lack of talent. It comes from broken commitments to yourself. You see, every time you say, I'm going to do it, but you don't. Every time you promise yourself you'll wake up earlier, finish that task, improve that skill, but instead you delay, procrastinate, or quit. You chip away at your self-trust. And when self-trust crumbles, confidence disappears. Because how can you believe in yourself if your own word means nothing to you? But the reverse is also true, and it's incredibly powerful. Every time you do what you said you'd do, even in the smallest matters, you cast a vote for confidence. You build self-respect. You start to trust yourself, and when you trust yourself, you walk differently, you talk differently, you make decisions differently. You stop asking for approval because you already know you can count on you. That is the birthplace of real attraction, when your life is in alignment with your word. Confidence also comes from preparation. Imagine you're asked to give a speech in front of 100 people. If you've prepared, rehearsed, studied, and equipped yourself with the right words, the right mindset, the right examples, how do you feel? Strong, grounded, ready. But if you walk in unprepared, confidence flies out the window. Life is the same way. Confidence is not magic. It's preparation multiplied over time. The more you invest in learning and practicing and equipping yourself with knowledge and skills, the more secure you become. People will call it charisma, but really it's preparation disguised as magnetism. Now let's talk about attraction. Attraction is not limited to romance. It's about pulling opportunities, people, and experiences toward you. Confidence is the invisible glue that makes others say, I want to follow that person. I want to work with that person. I want to be around that person. Why? Because confidence brings certainty in a world full of doubt. And people are naturally drawn to certainty. But here's the danger. Some people fake confidence. They puff themselves up, act louder, pretend stronger. But fakeness is like a cheap perfume. It might fool a few people for a few minutes, but eventually the scent wears off and the truth is revealed. Real confidence is rooted in authenticity. It comes from knowing who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. It doesn't mean you never feel nervous. It means you don't let nerves define you. It doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust yourself to find the answers. Confidence is also deeply tied to discipline. Think of your body. When you take care of your health, when you eat well, move often, and stay strong, you project an energy that says, I value myself. That kind of self-respect creates attraction. On the other hand, neglecting yourself erodes confidence. People can feel when you don't respect yourself. Remember, attraction begins inside, not outside. If you don't like yourself in the mirror, it's hard to expect others to be captivated by you. And let me say this, confidence is contagious. When you carry it, you give permission for others to rise as well. A confident parent raises stronger children. A confident leader builds bolder teams. A confident partner creates deeper intimacy. The ripple effect is enormous. And that's why working on your confidence isn't selfish, it's service. Because the stronger you are, the more you elevate everyone around you. Now let's make it practical. If you want to start building this foundation of attraction today, here are a few commitments you can make. Keep one promise to yourself every single day, no matter how small. Do what you said you'd do. Prepare in advance for the challenges you know are coming. Don't wait until the last minute. Feed your mind with books, ideas, and wisdom that strengthen your belief in yourself. Take care of your body. It's the temple where confidence lives. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who drain your energy. Over time, these practices stack, and as they stack, your confidence becomes undeniable. People will notice the change without you saying a word. They'll feel the energy before you shake their hand, and soon you'll realize that the opportunities you were chasing are now chasing you. Remember this, confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being prepared, being authentic, and being disciplined. When you own your life, you become magnetic. And when you become magnetic, attraction follows naturally. That is the power of confidence. It doesn't just change how the world sees you, it changes how you see yourself. And that, my friends, is the first step to unleashing your sexy potential. Energy. Now, there's a force we often overlook, yet it is one of the most powerful currencies we possess. You see, the way you show up in the world, the tone of your voice, the posture of your body, the sparkle in your eyes, the enthusiasm in your words, all of that is energy. And here's the truth. People are far more influenced by the energy you bring than the words you say. Words may inform, but energy transforms. Words can reach the mind, but energy pierces the soul. Think about the last time you were around someone who was full of life, optimism, and vitality. Didn't you feel lifted, encouraged, even a little more alive yourself? That's because energy is contagious. When you bring strong energy, you don't just light yourself up, you light up the entire room. On the other hand, when you walk into a room carrying low energy, dull, tired, negative, you don't just dim yourself, you dim everyone else. That's why energy is so critical. It has the power to attract or repel, to inspire or deflate. Now here's the key. The kind of energy that commands attention is not about being loud, dramatic, or over the top. True energy is not noise, it's presence. It's the quiet power that makes people turn their heads because they feel something different when you arrive. It's not about how much you say, it's about the intensity of life you radiate. Energy that commands attention is not forced, it's authentic. It doesn't shout, "Look at me." It simply whispers, "I am here." And people can't help but notice. But let's get practical. Where does this kind of energy come from? It comes from alignment. When your words, actions, and values are in harmony, you project a vibration of truth. People may not always understand why they're drawn to you, but they will feel it. When you live in alignment, your energy carries integrity. And integrity commands attention because it's rare. People are starving for realness, and when they see it in you, they lean in. Energy also comes from passion. If you want to draw people in, you have to care deeply. Care about your work, care about your message, care about the people you're serving. Passion is fuel for energy. If your days are filled with dullness, routine, and apathy, your energy will reflect it. But if you're working towards something that excites you, that challenges you, that matters, your energy will naturally expand. Passion gives you that glow. Passion makes your voice stronger, your eyes brighter, your presence magnetic. But let me warn you, passion without discipline is chaos. It burns hot and fizzles out. Sustained energy, the kind that people respect and are drawn to over the long term, comes from discipline. You must take care of the basics, your health, your sleep, your nutrition, your exercise. Don't expect to command attention if your body is running on fumes. Remember, your energy is not just emotional, it's also physical. You can't cheat biology. If you're neglecting your health, you're dimming your light before it even has a chance to shine. Now, here's something I want you to hear clearly. Energy is a choice. Too many people wait for circumstances to give them permission to feel alive. They say, when I have more money, I'll be excited. When I get that promotion, I'll bring more energy. When I'm in the right relationship, then I'll light up. But life doesn't work that way. If you wait for conditions to be perfect, you'll never rise. Energy is not a byproduct of success. Energy is the cause of success. Bring the energy first and the results will follow. I once heard it said, don't wait for the mood, create the mood. That's how powerful you are. You can generate energy even when you don't feel like it. How? Through action. Move your body, breathe deeper, speak with more intention. Motion creates emotion. You've experienced it, those days when you didn't feed pythons. like doing much, but once you started moving, once you got into the flow, your energy began to rise. That's proof. You don't need to wait for energy, you can produce it. Another source of energy that commands attention is gratitude. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But gratitude shifts your perspective. It lifts your focus away from what's missing and toward what's already good. And when you walk into a room with gratitude in your heart, you exude warmth, you exude joy, you exude abundance. People sense it. They feel safer, more uplifted around you. Gratitude amplifies your energy because it grounds you in the present moment, and the present moment is where your true power lives. Let's also talk about energy leaks. Just as you can build energy, you can also lose it fast. Negativity is the number one thief of energy. Complaining, gossiping, doubting, these habits drain you. They don't just harm your mood, they erode your presence. If you want to command attention, you cannot afford to leak energy on things that don't build you. Protect your energy like a treasure because it is one. Surroundings matter too. If you spend time with people who drain you, criticize you, or keep you stuck in mediocrity, your energy will reflect it. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and believe in you, your energy will rise to match theirs. That's the law of association. We become like the energy we keep. Choose wisely because your circle is shaping your presence more than you realize. Now imagine this. You walk into a meeting, a classroom, a family gathering, any room at all, and before you've even spoken, people feel your energy. They feel your calmness, your confidence, your strength, your joy. That's what it means to command attention without demanding it. You don't need to beg for it. You don't need to compete for it. You simply bring it and people respond. Energy is not just about charisma. It's about leadership. The leader in any group is not the one with the title. It's the one with the strongest energy. People don't follow words. They follow energy. If you want to lead, raise your energy. If you want to influence, raise your energy. If you want to attract, raise your energy. So how do you begin? Start small. Wake up tomorrow with intention. Before you check your phone, check your mindset, choose your energy for the day, move your body, nourish yourself, speak life into your circumstances, focus on what excites you, not what drains you, bring gratitude to every interaction, and above all, choose to generate energy, not just for yourself, but for others. Because here's the secret. Energy that commands attention is not about you, it's about service. When your energy says, I'm here to lift, I'm here to give, I'm here to make a difference, people won't just notice you, they'll remember you, they'll seek you out, they'll want more of you. That's the kind of presence that builds influence, builds relationships, and builds a legacy. My friends, never underestimate the power of energy. It is the invisible signature of your life. It is the essence people will carry with them long after your words are forgotten. And when you learn to master it, to protect it, to multiply it, you will find that doors open, opportunities expand, and the world responds to you in ways you never imagined. That is the true art of energy that commands attention. Authenticity, what a beautiful word. It carries a weight, a richness, a sense of freedom. To be authentic is to be real, unfiltered, and true to who you are at the core. Yet, how many of us live that way? Too often, we spend our lives wearing masks, copying others, imitating trends, trying to blend in, or worse, trying to be someone we're not. And here's the tragedy. In the process of imitation, we forfeit the greatest gift we've been given, our uniqueness. You see, the marketplace doesn't reward copies, it rewards originals. History doesn't remember the imitators, it remembers the innovators. People don't fall in love with perfection, they fall in love with authenticity. Why? Because authenticity is rare, and rare is always valuable. Let me tell you, one of the easiest traps in life is comparison. We scroll through images, watch others succeed, listen to their stories, and then we measure our own worth against theirs. But comparison kills authenticity. When you compare, you trade your individuality for imitation. And here's the irony. You're trying to copy someone who, if they're truly successful, got there by being themselves. Imagine that. They found power in authenticity while you're losing power through imitation. Now, let's be honest. It's natural to admire others. It's natural to be inspired. There's nothing wrong with learning from someone else's success, but there's a line, learn, don't copy. Be inspired, but don't be swallowed. The purpose of studying others is to extract principles, not personalities. Principles can be duplicated, but personalities cannot. You can learn someone's discipline, their consistency, their courage, but you cannot be them because you are not them. And the world doesn't need another version of them. It needs the full, unapologetic version of you. Authenticity, my friends, is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about aligning your words with your actions with your values with your true self. When those pieces fit together, something extraordinary happens. You become powerful, magnetic, and unshakable. People may not agree with everything you say, but they'll respect you because they know you're real. And respect built on authenticity lasts much longer than applause earned by imitation. Think of it this way. Imitation is exhausting, but authenticity is energizing. When you're faking, pretending, copying, you're always on. You're acting, you're calculating, you're filtering, and at the end of the day, you're drained. But when you're authentic, there's flow. You're not trying to be anyone else, you're simply being, and that state of being gives you freedom, strength, and joy. Let's dig deeper. Why do people imitate? Fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of rejection, fear of failure. But let me assure you, the only real failure is abandoning yourself. When you imitate, you've already lost because you've surrendered the very thing that makes you powerful, your originality. Better to stumble as yourself than to succeed as a copy, because when you stumble as yourself, you grow. But when you succeed as a copy, you shrink. Authenticity also demands courage. It's not always easy to show up real in a world that rewards filters and facades. People may criticize you, misunderstand you, or even reject you. But here's the paradox. The more you try to please everyone through imitation, the less anyone truly respects you. And the more you dare to be authentic, the more the right people, the ones who matter, will be drawn to you. Not everyone will like you. That's the truth. But the ones who do will like you for who you really are. That's the gift of authenticity. It filters your relationships, your opportunities, your path. Think about the leaders, the visionaries, the legends of history. Did they succeed because they imitated? No, they succeeded because they stood apart. They dared to bring their true voice even when it wasn't popular, even when it was ridiculed. Their authenticity became their legacy, and that same power is in you. Now, authenticity doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you refuse to change. Growth is essential. Learning is essential. But growth doesn't require imitation. Growth requires integration. Take the wisdom of others, filter it through your own truth, and express it in your own voice. That's authenticity. That's how you evolve without losing yourself. Let me challenge you with this question. Who are you when nobody's watching? That's your authentic self. And the more you can bring that version of you into the light, into the marketplace, into your relationships, the more powerful you'll become. Because the world doesn't need another polished imitation. It needs your raw, real, radiant truth. Practical steps. Start noticing the areas of your life where you're imitating. Maybe it's in the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you set your goals. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's truly me or because I think it's what others expect? That simple question can reveal where you've surrendered your authenticity. And once you see it, you can take it back. Another step, celebrate your uniqueness, your quirks, your flaws, your story. Don't hide them, honor them. They are part of your power. What you think is a weakness may be the very thing that makes you unforgettable. People connect with realness, not polish. Vulnerability, when rooted in strength, is magnetic. And remember this, authenticity is not a destination, it's a practice. Every day you choose, will I show up real or will I hide behind imitation? Every conversation, every opportunity, every challenge asks the same question. And the more often you choose authenticity, the stronger your presence becomes. When you walk into a room authentically, people feel safe. When you speak authentically, people listen. When you live authentically, people follow. That's the kind of attraction imitation can never buy. So, my friends, here is the challenge. Trade imitation for authenticity. Stop diluting yourself. Stop trying to be a copy of someone else's success. Stand tall in your uniqueness. Bring your full self to the world, because when you do, you'll discover something extraordinary. The doors you've been knocking on will start opening, not because you imitated, but because you illuminated. And that, my friends, is the power of authenticity over imitation. It is not only the key to unleashing your sexy potential, it is the foundation of your influence, your relationships, and your legacy.